All right. Well, welcome to DACdb training, stands for District and Club Database. And I recognize some of you from previous training, so you could probably teach us a few things. Just by a show of hands, how many of you have not used DACdb? Okay, this is good. All right. Well, we changed to it a year ago because we felt it was going to be a stronger database, not only for the district level, but the club. And we put a committee together, they evaluated it. We had presentations by DACdb as well as Club Runner. And unanimously, the committee voted to switch over. So that's why we're doing this, but it really is a stronger database. And hopefully you will agree the more you get into it. So I am going to go ahead and click on the database. So when you first sign in, you're going to just type in DACdb.com. It's just that simple. And you're going to use the same username that you've used in Club Runner. If you're not sure what it is, your club secretary can help you, or send me a quick email and I'll be glad to send you your username. So once you put your username in, you're going to click on Forgot Password. And that will send you an email so you can reset your password. So basically, none of the passwords from Club Runner will transfer over to DACdb for security reasons. So if I'm going to just walk you through how everything is set up, and the invite is on the calendar, Greg. Oh. So the way this is set up, you have a blue banner across the top, and that's where your table of contents is. So you've got your home, you may have a find, my data, my club, district, support, and so on. On the right side, you're going to have your name, a shopping cart where you go to purchase modules, and then you'll have the district name and your club name. So we'll get to that in a minute. On the left-hand side, you've got a dashboard navigation, and whatever tab you're clicked on, the navigation on the left will have more details on that particular tab. So the home tab is for your Rotary Club, but it can have other things posted there. You can put your weekly meeting information. You can have district information there, all kinds of things. So it just really depends on how you want to set this up. The find key is a way to search the entire district for any Rotarian. And it's just as easy as it says. And you'll notice as you go through and click on these tabs, there's descriptions a sentence or two up above. So it's kind of nice if you can't remember exactly what to do. So I'm going to just type in, you can do first name, last name, whatever. And this shows us all of the Gregs in the district. So it's kind of nice. It also shows their club names, their club positions, and so forth. So if you go down and click on one of them, oh my God, there's another Greg Horn in Shelton Skookum. That's scary that there might be two. Yeah. Anyway, so when you click on the—
That can't be, Mary, I'm sorry, but that isn't. Can you go back to that? Sorry. I just know that that's not correct. It says there is though. Oh, he's a friend of Rotary. That's why.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Sorry. All
so
right.
that is the difference. Thank goodness, it kind of scared us, didn't it? Okay,
Big
so
time.
we're going to click on the Greg Horn from Lakewood. And this is an easy way to find out their information. So if you've met someone at a conference, a training session, whatever, and you want to get in touch with them, or you want to look up maybe a club secretary, it's a good way to be able to find it. So that's your find button. Now your own personal data is under my data. So it will pull up. Yes.
Can I just ask, so if you're going back to that find, how do you
Yeah.
go and find a club secretary? Like this, if you could just show me that.
So
classification?
you can do, it's not under occupation.
Yep.
There's a better way to do it under district, and I'll show you that in a minute.
Okay, that's fine. Thanks.
Yeah, but I will remember. Okay, so your own personal data, every Rotarian can edit their own personal data. So this just gives you information on, under navigation, you click on edit member. And then this just tells you what kind of member you are, if you're active, if you're a friend of Rotary or so on. You can change your photo by clicking the photo tab, and you can choose a file on your computer, upload a different photo. You can also add, delete photos of your spouse. You can update your contact information. And you'll notice down here, if you look, contact preferences partway down under the third blue banner, whatever. If this is the email that you have through Rotary, that's great. Some people want to switch it and change it to a different email. So there's things that you can do. Say you've changed your business and you're working somewhere else, you can go through and change your office address or whatever. So you can change your spouse information, your business, your personal data. It'll tell you what you're involved in, your club information. And then the login one is the one that's good for secretaries, because if a member comes to you and says, I can't log into DACdb, I don't know my username, or my username does not work, you can go to them if you're a club officer, and you can put in edit and go to their login and pull up their username. So that's a handy thing to have. Now you'll never be able to see their password, and I can't even see mine. So it's something that only the person who it belongs to can see. You can add biography about yourself, so on. And then the log information tab is good because it's one of the many ways that DACdb is transparent. You can see anytime someone has logged into your name. And I think that's important. So it's just, if they've changed the security level, changed the address, name, so on, you can tell the date they've done it, the time, and who made the change. So if you make any changes, and this goes for anywhere throughout DACdb, you'll need to click refresh or update or save. So in the top right, you'll see an update key. And if you click that, whatever changes you've made will be updated. Now, if you go through and change stuff and don't click that, it's not going to update a thing. So just remember that. So on the My Club tab, this is one of the things I really like about DACdb. It's got these icons that are easy to read. They're easy to see, and as I get older and have older eyes, it's just so much easier than reading lines of information. So you'll notice there's just all kinds of icons, and you can move them around, rearrange them, do whatever you want to do with them. And you'll notice the first 6 have a little green box with a check mark on it. And those are the ones you probably want to use the most. So if you find that you're a treasurer and you use club finance, you can just pull that over to a position that's easier to get to. The purpose of the green check boxes is the top 6 functions will appear in your shortcut menu. So when you first log in, and I'm going to go back to home for a second. So when you first log in, you're on the home page. Down on the bottom left are your club shortcuts and your district shortcuts. So that's why if you use this a lot, you'll want to rearrange it to whatever you use the most. So all kinds of things. The other thing you can do on the top right here, there's a little gear wheel and it's called configure. So if I click on that, can you guys all see the pop-up?
Mhm.
Okay, so everything in yellow on the pop-up is an icon that's already visible. The available icons on the pop-up down below that are in light blue are not visible yet. And if it's something you think you might be interested in, I mean, you can pull them all up if you want, it doesn't matter. So
Oh.
you can just pull them up to the yellow section, but you'll notice they didn't change color yet because I haven't confirmed it. So if I go to the pop-up, set my configuration, and then I go back and just open the wheel so you can see, you notice that they've changed to yellow. So that's one thing that's just kind of a nice feature, but let's go through some of these. So again, you've got find member, same exact one as if you clicked on the tab. You've got club members. And if you click on that, that is your own club. And our club secretary does an excellent job and he's available to help you with your club if there's anything you need help with. But he has put photos in of every single officer, which is just a nice thing to have, but he's also done it for every single Rotarian in our club. And so you'll see these little cameras next to their name, and that means there's a photo. So you'll see not only active and honorary members, you'll see Friends of Rotary. And these could be members that you've invited to an auction or fundraiser or whatever, and you want to be able to access their name for future events. So there's a dog barking in the background, but whatever. And then the terminated members could be Rotarians who have left your club or passed on or whatever, but we do like to keep them. So the active members are the ones you're probably going to use the most. And if you're a club officer, you can go in and you've got some choices of actions. You can edit a member. If it's a member who, for whatever reason, has left the club, you can change them to a terminated member, or you can delete them totally. You can send them a text. You can import them to your Outlook and so on. So there's a lot of things you can do. And we're going to talk about Pmail in a minute. You can also Pmail directly from this list. There's lots of different ways to achieve the same thing. So I'm going to click on my club again. And you'll notice, go ahead.
I have a quick question. When you update the club list, does that automatically update the national and international list?
So it does go up to Rotary if you are a DACdb club. Okay. So that's important. If you are a Club Runner club and you go into Club Runner and you update, say one of your members changed their address or whatever, you would actually have to change that at Rotary International anyway, but that information does not go down to DACdb. It's really kind of a read-only status. But if you are a DACdb club, anything you change here will go up. So
thank you.
Good question. You bet.
Mary, for those clubs that are Club Runner clubs, can you just explain how they would go about entering new members or terminating members that are showing up in Club Runner? Can you do that real quickly?
Quickly. Oh yeah, sure. No problem. So if you click on club member and then you go under navigation, you're going to have some options. And what I have done, and I guess I should just say I've not had any formal training. I'm just a Rotarian. But when we looked at this, it was fascinating. So I've just explored and learned these things. I've asked some questions of the DACdb people, but I haven't learned anything you guys couldn't learn by exploring as well. So you can go to, if you are an officer, you can go to admin functions.
Mhm.
And then you have your choice. You can edit the club, you can edit club positions, you can add a new member, so on. So if I click on add a new member, it's just straightforward. You type in their information. What type of a member? Is it going to be active? Is it going to be interact? Whatever it happens to be, and you click on it. And then you type in their name and so on. So you get the idea. You fill this whole thing out, and then you're going to go over and click add. So you can add the photo at the same time, more contact information, so on. I'm not going to do this because if I do, I'm going to mess up our club membership roster, and I don't want to do that. But it is straightforward. And if you go back to admin functions, you can edit club positions. So let's just take a look at that. So this is one way for your own club. Obviously, you know who your officers are, but say somebody was going to move in your club and somebody else was coming in as the membership chair. So let's pick on someone. We'll pick on Gary. I am going to click the pencil that edits him, and I can add a position. And if you forget, again, you just read the information that's here. It's so self-explanatory. But I want to add a club position for Gary. So I've clicked add, and then if I hover, it says double click here to select the club roles. So you can go through that way, or you can click add here. Now you'll notice there are names and then there are red abbreviations. And the red abbreviations are called the role keys. And what Rotary International likes you to do is standardize your club positions. So for example, if you are a public image chair, everybody should click on this one. You can make up your own position, but then when Rotary International reads it, they may not send you information that relates to your position, if that makes sense. So if you're public image chair, Rotary International sees that here because it's PI in red. They are going to be sending you information. Maybe it's updating on branding, whatever it happens to be. And so you want to make sure that you follow the role keys if at all possible. So I choose that. And again, I've got to go down and click save, which I'm not going to do because I would go back and I just don't want to mess up our club. I'm really careful about that. You also want to take a look at the start date. And so it automatically sets up with the current year. So it's August 3rd today, and it goes through June 30th of next year. So that's pretty typical. So that's just a brief way of how to do it. So if I would have done that, the public image would be up here now, and I would have to go in and update Leanna because she's our public image chair. Maybe she's the one who's moving away. So that's the easy way you can fix it. And again, it's just following the navigation under here with your setup options. You can do member transfers, all kinds of things. So let's go back to clubs. And let's go to club files. Now, when you first start with DACdb, you've obviously got to move some of your files over from Club Runner or whatever you're using. So there's a couple ways to do it, and our club secretary is a whiz at it, and he'd be more than happy to train you. But what I want you to notice is there are two tabs here. One is public, one is secure. So the database as it sits, you must be a Rotarian who has a username and password to sign in. The general public cannot access a database. However, when you set up your website, you can set it up to access certain reports from the database. So you want to, if it's a public report, you might have the option then to link it to your website. If it is a secure report, you do not have the option to link it because you want to keep it as it is, secure. So just think about that as you transfer your files. And it's as easy as on the right, you can upload a file, you can add a folder, delete, copy, zip, and so on. But think about, we're talking apples and oranges. Club Runner is one database that has its own way of doing things. DACdb has its other way, and they don't merge perfectly. That is, I cannot click one button and magically have all the information transfer over. Wish I could, but it doesn't work that way. So you have to take your information, copy it to, maybe an external hard drive or something, and then place it into DACdb where you want it. And I know our secretary on photos, he uses a Word document, transfers photos, and then he's able to copy and paste very easily. So that's your records and how you would transfer those. I'm going to talk about, I'm kind of jumping around a little, but the club calendar is actually pretty cool the way they have it set up. So you can put your weekly meetings on it if there's any district events. So this is Lakewood Rotary, and they have an event that started Sunday and goes through the 3rd, where every year they choose a different place. And in honor of one of our past Rotarians, they call it the Reader Roaster Romp. And they go out and it's a social event. We have the training listed, but the weekly meetings are listed as well. You can do the weekly meetings listing under location. You can list your Zoom link. And it's really helpful to do that because then your members know where to look. Most of the time we have those listed, and you can change to look at your calendar by the week or by the list. And that's also helpful if you're looking for something specific. So the club calendar is helpful. I'm going to jump over to the district calendar. So if I click on the district tab and click on the calendar there, what you're going to see, and I'm going to change it back to month. A lot of clubs now are posting their weekly meetings and their events. And I love this because if you have a club close to you, you're working on an event schedule, you want to know when to have a fundraiser, you can look at this and see if there's any conflicts. So you can plan your schedule accordingly. So everything is color coded. The red events are fundraisers. So if I click on the box next to the club fundraisers, the only thing it shows are fundraisers. So that makes it easier for you to find. Don't forget to unclick it. Or if you want to just look at meetings or district events. So that's the function of the calendar, is for everybody to use, but also I highly recommend that you have your club members go visit another club, see what they're doing. You may get an idea, maybe for a grant project or something else they're doing that maybe you just hadn't thought about, or maybe you want to join with them and do a joint project. So this is a valuable tool. I know if you click on the Paulsbo meetings, here is their link right here. And again, only Rotarians can get in here. So we're pretty comfortable with that. So the next thing I want to show you is, I guess it's in the other one. I'm on district, so let me go back to my club. So you can do stories and you can do bulletins and you can have a club website. There's just so many things you can do. So think about this. Your bulletin is a template that you choose to drop stories into. So to create the stories, you click on Club Easy Story. And here's a list of stories that our club has done. But to add a story, it's just as simple. You click on Add a Story. You put in a name, and you can put in a headline. And if you're not sure which is which, just read the descriptions here and it'll tell you how to do it. Now, it's in draft form to start with. You can put in a start date, an end date. You can choose an image on the main story to draw people's attention. And then you can click what you want it to show in. If you have a website with us, you can click on that. Click on the home page and so on in the Easy Bulletin. So you just really go down and it's that simple. So then once you've clicked everything, and you could be doing it for someone in your club who's writing an article, you could put their name in here. Then you click on the tab above for story content. And I know you've read stories electronically that the first paragraph kind of gets you interested, and then it says read more after that, and you click. So the first summary is the intro part that kind of gets the hook set. And then the read more part is down below for the rest of the story. So once you've done all that, you go over to the right here and you click save. And that's really all there is to it. Pretty straightforward. So then you've got your club bulletin that you can drop your story into. And so I'm going to just pull up, I have no idea which ones these are. So here is our club bulletin. And whatever story you have, I could edit this and I could just pull in a story, but our template stays the same. You can change the template, but we have it set up this way where our club meeting info is on top. We've got some advertisers, we've got our speakers and club leaders, and then our stories on the right. So you can set yours up. There's a multitude of ways, and it just seems to work really well. So it's easy to do. If I can figure it out, I figure anybody can. So the other thing is the club committees. So these again are simple to set up. Top right, you can click add committee. You can put in your committee name. If it's a subcommittee of another one, you can locate that and type in your description. And then you just read the information. This committee cannot be viewed on a public website. To change this, see the security tab. So it will walk you through it. But if you look at the club committees that we have, it's just, we have a lot of committees.
Wow.
But go ahead. This is, I'm going to grab one and just click on it. So the way this is set up is the committee chair or chairs are at the top, and then all the committee members are listed. And so you can go through, if you are the committee chair and you want to schedule a meeting, you'll notice that there's these little blue boxes with check marks. Right now, everybody who's on this committee is checked. If you want to uncheck them, and maybe you just want, oh, he's in charge of the computer program and so is she, I just want to send an email to those two, you can choose who you want. And then in the top right, these little boxes, you have the option of sending a P-mail, which stands for personal mail. You can print it, you can send it to an Excel sheet, a Word document, or a PDF file. So if I click everybody, and I want to send them an email because we're having a meeting this Friday. This is the personalized mail. Now I have to explain something. You guys have your own emails, and there may be Hotmail, Gmail, Comcast, shaw.ca, whatever it happens to be. So you've all got your personal emails. This is just a tool to use your personal email to send a email out to Rotarians. So I've created this list. And maybe I want to add someone else. So if I click on the 2, this brings up basically all the Rotarians in the district, depending on your security level. And when you search by last name. So I'm going to pull up, I'll pick on Greg again. So I put the last name in, and then you can see everyone in the district who has that. So his name should now be at the bottom. Every time you send one of these out, it automatically sends a copy to you, to your own email that Rotary International has. And then it sends individual emails to everyone. They do not see the group and the name of everybody. But you'll notice there's a red box around here, which means it's not done. So if I click update names, now it's ready. So I can change the subject line, I can attach a file. If I want to send it to a non-Rotarian, I can add a CC and I can type in a different email or blind copy, whatever it happens to be. You'll notice also that the name has dear with brackets around it. It will automatically populate the first name that's on your list. So then you can say, and give them all the details you want. You can click send. So once you click send, you have 2 minutes to think about if you want it to go through or if you want to delete it.
Oh.
And that's kind of a nice feature too. So if I click send, you'll get a list of everyone it's sent to and what the subject is. So now look under navigation here, and there's some really cool things. Pending means, okay, we haven't sent it yet. It's pending. Do you really want to send it? So I can click the blue arrow and it'll send it now, or I can click the red X and delete it. And obviously I want to delete it because we're not having a meeting this Friday. But here's the cool thing. If you go down to tracking, this is going to show you the emails you've sent, but a lot more information. And what I love about this, I can go down, let's choose this DACdb basic training, 7 p.m. tonight, if you can see down that far. That was 28 days ago. I sent it to 373 people. 2 did not receive it. 174 people actually opened it. I mean, that's pretty amazing. So if I go and I click on that and go, gosh, I don't remember what I even said, it's going to give you some statistics. You can click on the display, the email message about halfway down here, and it'll show what was said. But then here, so say you're sending out your monthly dues or annual dues, whatever it happens to be. So 46% of the people read it, but you need 100%. So look up here at your options, and it's really cool. Resend to unread. I mean, that's nice. So you can send it, you can add a little note, and you don't bother the people who have already read it. You only send it to the people who haven't. You can resend and so forth. So it's just a wonderful option. So if you go back to tracking again, you can see there's a lot more options too. But let me go back to my club. I want to get it into the regular email. So we have some club secretaries, right? Different, I think I saw 1 or 2. So if you're ready to send a email, and brand new club, say you've just switched over to DACdb, you want to send everybody their username. If you have 100 people in the club, that's a lot of emails to send. But look at this, you can go up on the left here, excuse me, on the right, it's been a long day, and select template. Now you can create club templates, or you can use some standardized templates that the system already has. So if I click on system, you've got a lot of choices here. But if you go down to DACdb login for members and you click on that and select use this template, it is going to send one email to your entire club, and each person is going to get their individual login just that fast. So it's a great system to use, and it will automatically populate it with the club secretary's information. So that took me just a couple clicks. Now I would fill in the subject line and I'd say login information for DACdb, whatever. So that's one template that I have suggested the clubs use to start. Another template, if I go to select template again and system, the other thing you want to verify anytime you're changing databases is that the data that is recorded is accurate and correct. And if members have been in Rotary for a long time, I guarantee you there are probably some changes that have never been made. So it's just a nice way to verify. So if you go down to number 15, oh, you have your choice of colors, but I'll use B for blue, and click on the use selected template. This is going to go into each member's data file, and each member will get their own personal one. So again, you're sending one email, and it's only when the member receives the email, it will only have their name, not the whole club. And it will go through and populate all the data that is in their data information. So when they get to the bottom, they can either say, yep, it's all correct, and they can click information verify, or they can click edit, and they will receive an email that shows them how to get into their data and make the corrections. So this has been, I mean, this has just been a godsend for us. It's really efficient time-wise. And you can, there's a lot of different templates to choose from. So if you go through, you can look at finance statements and so on, but it's very helpful for the club. All right, let's go back to.
Mary, on the PMail, it's also important for everyone to understand that there isn't a draft that is saved when you're sending that email yet. DACdb is working on that, but if you think it's going to be saved and you look at it and then you go back and say, oh wait, I needed to add this, you have to start all over. So
you're absolutely right. So if I were in the PMail state and I finished my letter and I go ahead and I hit send, then I'll go to pending. If I delete that, it's not going to save it for you. Now, you can copy your information to a Word document so you don't lose it. They are working on having it saved. They aren't there yet. But the one thing I didn't mention, the people who are in DACdb, the owner, the employees, and so on, most of them are Rotarians. It was started by Rotarians for Rotarians because they knew what to look for. They knew what was important that they needed to use. So they really do get it. But you're absolutely right. If you are in PMail, say you've typed everything, there is a little save button here. It will save it as a template. Well, it may not be something you want to save as a template, so just keep that in mind. But hopefully they'll be fixing that. So the other thing I wanted to go over real quick is club assignments, and they're pretty cool. So what this is some of you are meeting in person, and even if you're not, there are usually some people, maybe someone will do the flag salute or thought for the day, whatever it happens to be. So you can set this up any way you want with any description you want. And I just happen to do a few. And so then what I can do is, oh, you know, I talked to Don the other day and he said he'd be a greeter. So you literally just drag their names over where you want them. And then the cool thing is, when you want to send out reminders, you click on the week you want to do, and you go up to the email. It automatically sends a reminder, on this date, you are scheduled to be the greeter. And it's so simple, but I just love it. It's really easy. And if you go, oh, you know, that guy can't do it this day, you can just drag him down and drop him into the little recycle thing here. So that's another cool feature. But I think what you're seeing here is DACdb is so broad. It has so much going for it. It's like club grants. So here's a list. And we are doing all of our grants now through DACdb. So if you're entering a new grant, you are doing it through this program. It's just wonderful. But this shows you information on the grants that are projects. And if you're not sure when, it's 21, 22 projects, they've been approved. So if I go to the district and do the same thing and go to district grants, then I can actually go over, I think it's a district grant view, I can't remember. And you can find out more information, but you know, if you're a club thinking about doing grants and you're interested in a certain country or a certain type of grant, if you look at this and go, well, you know, they're doing this program that I think our club would be really interested in, how easy would it be to contact that club and work together? So this is another powerful tool that I think is underutilized. So just a couple more quick things, and I do have some questions I need to answer. Is it possible to print out a list of all your club members? So this is, I'm in my club tab, I go to club members, and then I go up to Excel or Word, and I can do them from there. Give a demo. So I just clicked on Excel, and you'll notice that it downloaded an Excel sheet. So I can just open it. And you're not going to be able to see that. So that's,
Yeah, we can't see that one.
no. So anyway, you get the idea. You can download it. You've got your Excel or your Word document, whatever you need. So how long does it take to get a new password? I have put in the forgot password just as we started, and you still don't have a reply. I would first of all check your spam folder. And if it's not in there, I would, it usually is almost instantaneous. So you want to make sure that you have the right Gmail. And Greg, my assistant in the background here, Yvonne, is going to send you your username. So he can email that to you, and then you can make sure that.
Hi, Mary. Actually, I got on. Thank
Good.
you for that. Yeah, I did. I just had to, it just took a while, I guess, for it to come through to my junk. But I did have another question. When I clicked on and when I'm in, I don't have any Pmail. I don't have that icon.
So that's interesting. That happened to another club the other day. And what happens, and that was the next thing I was going to cover. If you go and click on the support tab, or just follow me for a second, I want to explain the security levels, but that's probably why you don't have that. So if you go, the support tab, they're going to be updating it soon, but it's so helpful and it's got so much information. just to walk you through real quickly, if you're a new club just starting out, DACdb Quick Start Guide. You're new, you click on new. This is going to download, and I am going to try to open this so you can see this. Can you see it, or do I need to?
We can see it.
Okay. All right. So what is nice about this, it's going to take you step by step. Your club overview, the common icons you're going to see, how you find a member. I mean, if we go back to the table of contents here, this is going to show you the basics of what every club officer should at least look at. So it's a great guide. So you've got that.
That's just for people that are on the board. So that's why, I mean,
So
regular Rotarians can't use the P-mail.
the way it's set up, that is true, but you can change it. Any club can change the settings any way they want. So if I go down under help topics and go to security levels and just open that file, this explains how DACdb has set it up. You can change it. So hang in there with me. Again, if you're public, you cannot access any information. If you are a Rotarian, but not a committee chair or club officer, you can maintain your own record and you can view other people's. And so even if you say you wanted to email someone in your club, you could look up their information and that lists their email. You could send them an email.
I'm a
The
committee
committee-
chair, so I guess that would be.
So the
like a
committee
social
chair
committee.
is level 2. So you could P-mail your committee.
Right.
You could add, you could delete, and so on, if you're a committee chair. So the same with event moderators, it kind of goes up from there. So if you skip to club officer, it's a level 4. You can maintain anybody's club records. You can P-mail the entire club. You can edit, delete, and so on. And then, of course, assistant governors, they can view their clubs only and help with that area. District officers, I believe there are 3 district officers who can P-mail the entire district. And we do this, we try to restrict it somewhat for security reasons. We had a club that had a new member, gosh, I don't remember which club now, and they didn't know a lot about it, but they had a new business. They were all excited. They sent an email out to their entire club promoting their business. We know that that's not what we really do at Rotary. That's more a Chamber of Commerce thing. So we do try to limit to start with. So what you can do is you can go, if you're a club officer, they can go in, Yvonne, and change your information. So if I'm just going to use my own data. If we wanted to change my security setting, I would go to edit member, and then I would go to login. And then the security level, I could change right here. So
Okay, so I just changed it to 2. Okay.
I would change it to maybe 3 or 4, because if you're going to be working with the whole club, your club officers will figure that out. But we have like public image chair, even though it's a committee chair, a lot of times they'll deal with the entire club. So they should be moved up to a level 4. So you can kind of play with it, but that's why you are set up that way. So my assistant is changing your security level right now. So hopefully we won't get in trouble for that. Are there any other questions, Marnie, that I haven't answered?
Thank
I
you.
don't see any in the chat box. If
Okay.
anybody has any questions, just use your
Uh,
reactions button or raise your voice, either one.
Yeah, I would have a quick question. Can I look for topics and speakers in the calendar view? I saw there's a speaker or I can look for speakers, but I don't find, when I go on district, sorry, and then calendar, on the left side it says speakers. Is there an option to see like what topics are in the area, in the district, if I'm interested to join another club for certain topics?
That, yes, and that one hasn't really been created as of yet.
Mhm.
That would be wonderful. And it's set up for your club, but you're right. If you go to the district, your district speakers can be found here. Our thought on that is that if we have someone that we just thought was a great speaker that we would like to share with the district, this is where we would put them. So if you're looking for someone on maybe a specific topic or just need a great speaker, you can go there as a resource. That hasn't happened yet, but believe me, that's on our radar. So as long as we are in district level now, I want to show you a few things too, because we always run out of time. So we did your find the member of the calendar. This is just a list of the clubs in the district. So what's nice about that is you can resort it. So this is alphabetically. You can sort it by club type. And then over here under RI, I think it's important for you to know. So we've been promoting DACdb for about a year. And so you'll go down and you'll read this. If it's read only, that means they're most likely still with Club Runner. If it says RI Direct, that means they're with DACdb. So if I sort this column, we have over 50 clubs on DACdb now. So it's over half of the district and we have a lot more coming on board. And I really think the message is we gave this a lot of thought. This was not a random, oh, what the heck, let's go ahead and change. I mean, we truly feel this is a better system for the clubs as well as the district. It's user-friendly and so on. So if you wanted to look at a club from the club list and just click on Lakewood, for example, you would be able to see their roster. And I think it's just a great way to interact with other clubs. So the area, you have your clubs and then you have areas. So if you click on area, we have 18 district governors, assistant governors who help our district governor. So this is normally organized by areas. So our number one, which is the northern part of the Vancouver Island, Canada, is Barb Cameron. And then the clubs are listed below that. Area 2, Todd Peachy, which is a little further south, and so on. So you can look at all these and source whoever you want. And you'll notice it's listing the president, secretary, treasurer. And one of your questions was, how do you find this secretary for another club? So this is a perfect way to do this. Now, if you want to look up alphabetically, you should be able to do, they've changed the way. They have changed this. It's interesting. All areas listed, maybe. They used to have one box you could click to change it alphabetically by club. And I haven't found the way to do that. It's magically disappeared, but you get the gist, and it's easy to scroll through and find who you're looking for. So that's the area icon. We've also
Mary,
got, yeah.
Another way to do that is if you're trying to P-mail multiple clubs secretaries, you can choose that under the club role. I'm assuming everybody has that option. Right?
It depends on their security level. Level 4 would have that option. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
And that's another thing. I'll just jump back into P-mail here. If you're clicking on 2, it gives you a bunch of options. You can search for club committees, district committees, club positions. So if I click on club positions and scroll down, I could just click secretaries. This would list your name, whoever sends the email, plus all the secretaries. So I could update the names, and there's a quick way to do it. Now there are probably some, I don't know what level can send emails to all the secretaries, honestly, Marnie, if it's a 4 or what, but there are different ways to do that. So, but yes, there are ways to find people. So another feature is RI District Compare. So if I click on that, and I'm going to pick on the Lakewood Club again. What this does is, so if you remember back, we sent the username to all the club members so they could get on DACdb. We sent their data so they could update their data. So now we're taking all of that data that we've entered and corrected in DACdb, and we're comparing it with Rotary International. So on the left-hand side here, it's members and Rotary. All this information is what Rotary International actually has on the person. On the right side, it's all the data that DACdb has. So if there are any discrepancies, and I mean, one has a comma, one does not, I mean, they're very, very particular, it will show up in red in the center here under exclamation equal. So if I scroll down, so there's a couple reds here. And if I want to take a look at it, over on the left, you'll see it says compare. So if I click on this person, it is going to compare side by side, Rotary International on the left, DACdb on the right, and it's going to compare line by line all of the data. So you look at it, it seems like it's pretty straightforward. Here it says office, and if I click on that, maybe it should say home instead. So it could be something as simple as that. But anyway, you can go through and look at stuff. And if it's not, Rotary International is the only place you can change your home address, your email, and one other, your name, I think. So if you need to change those at Rotary International, that's one thing. But if it's a phone number or a classification, possibly whatever it happens to be, you'll be able to change it here if there's a discrepancy. So it's just nice to be able to look at this quickly and see what the differences are. And this is probably more for the club secretary or someone who's helping update the data. Again, you've got district files, you've got district committees. Say you're interested in being on the youth committee, but you don't know who to contact. You can go to the district, you can scroll down, and you can look for youth. So here's your youth exchange, your youth protection, whatever it happens to be. And you can click on this and see all the members, and you can see who the chair is. So, okay, you can see him, but how do you contact him? So you click on his name, and then up here you have your choice of email or putting it in your Outlook, printing it, or so on. Kind of makes sense. I mean, it's all of this is so logical. It's amazing. So let's talk about training. If you go to support, not only do they have help topics that just explain, maybe you want to take DACdb and put it on your phone. If you go down to mobile, click on it, add DACdb icon. In 6 steps, whether you're an iPhone person or an Android, you can have this app on your phone. It's a simplified one where you can search for members, clubs, locations, that kind of thing. but it's straightforward how to do it. If you want further training, and you can just go through here and search, but they have a DACdb university, they have officer training and so on. So you can look at, this actually shows the DACdb team. And if they have a little rotary wheel in their picture, they're Rotarians. Our person is Michael Soden, and Larry, I believe, is more of a tech behind the scenes guy. Michael is an incoming district governor in 2 years. Mark Landman has been a district governor, and he's the owner of the company. So you'll see most of the people are Rotarians, but over on the side here, they have courses that they hold every Tuesday. I think they have a training time around lunchtime, 12:30, or they have previous trainings that they've recorded that you can go through. Maybe you want to know how to do invoices and statements, whatever it happens to be. You can search through here and find pretty much anything you need to know. But say, here's my rule of thumb. If you're working on something, you can't figure it out in 10 minutes, and I mean 10 minutes, then reach out for help. You can send me an email, you can send Marnie an email, or you can go to the support, and I just click on support, and here's an orange button. Click here to view and submit support tickets. So you can click on that, and over on the right, create new support ticket. So you can summarize. I can't figure out how to send invoices, whatever it happens to be. You put it in here, you write a brief description, you save it, and they get back to you rapidly. Now you can also call. So if you click on support, there's phone numbers that you can reach out. And I've never worked with a company that's had better response times. I'm really impressed with it. If someone in your club wants more information, they have product brochures, so on. If you want to look at the module costs, the little shopping cart up here, if you click on that, it brings up 3 things. In the kind of sage green, the 3 ones on the right, those are subscriptions the district has paid for. Nothing comes out of your pocket. So we've paid for all of the DACdb usage. Even if you're not a DACdb customer right now, you can go on and use DACdb. You can explore, do anything. We've also paid for the grants module for all the clubs. And we've paid for an engagement module. And that one tracks not only attendance, but service hours. And it's a great thing. So right now it says that it's pending payment. We've paid last year. The new subscription is due August 14th. So it shows pending payment, but it shows exactly where we are. Our Lakewood Club has purchased 2 extra modules in addition to what the district has provided. So it shows when they expire, how much they were, and so on. And so they did the finance package and the WordPress website. Just so you know, there are 2 different websites you could choose from. One is called Easy and Beautiful, and it's more basic, it's more template oriented, where you choose which template you want, drop your stories and pictures in. The WordPress website is more, you can pretty much create anything you want. It doesn't have to be template format. And people who are techie know what I'm talking about. Until I'd gone into this, I'd never heard the word WordPress. So that tells you what I know. You can look at all these different things. We have a My Event module if you're doing a fundraiser for $99. We did our district training through this, and it tracked everybody. Our PI guy for the district, Caleb Sommerfeld, said it was one of the easiest modules he's ever used. So that's available, so on. But anyway, your shopping cart, that's what it's for, is to show you what you can do. Susie.
Sorry, I was, okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, then what are we paying for? Because when I was on the board a couple of years ago and this was all brought up, the club decided at that time not to go with DACdb because it was more
Mhm.
expensive. What are they talking about? What are we paying for? If the district is paying for the grant writing for, I'm sorry, that it isn't up here anymore.
Yeah.
For all those, then what are we paying for? And is it yearly? How does it work?
Yes, so this is an annual fee. The only thing you really could pay for is a finance module or a website module.
Okay,
Okay, those are your two choices, and I can send you a price list. We
Or
have
the
found,
event module.
or the event module, which is if you have an event once a year, whatever it happens to be.
yeah, which
It's
we
well
So-
worth it.
Oh, it was wonderful.
Mhm.
okay,
So that's really all you're paying for. The finance module, it links to QuickBooks, if you're familiar with that.
Mhm.
So that helps you track everything in your club. It's wonderful. Now, some clubs have two sides to it. They have the nonprofit side and they have the operations side. Thank you. I was trying to think of the word. And they actually use two different finance modules. So it's helpful to keep obviously all of that separate.
Mhm.
And it does everything. I mean, in just a few clicks, you can send out your monthly dues. Some clubs charge for meals and they can track them through that and they can send out that way. And then the other thing that's kind of cool is if you click on support again and you go down to payment gateways and open that. So a payment gateway is a way your club can collect money,
Cool.
basically using a credit card from a customer. So DACdb has in the past had several different payment gateways, but they've narrowed it down to 3 now based on several things. They've based it on the fees that the payment gateways charge, the functionality, and just how easy it is to use. So, and the security is a big factor. So IP Pay is one they use, authorized.net.
I'm really sorry,
PayPal.
Mary. I don't know if you
Yeah.
can hear me, but I've
Yeah.
lost my Zoom. I've lost you guys. I can hear you, but I can't see. So if you're pointing to something, I had a couple calls come in and somehow it screwed up my laptop. So all I can do is hear you, but I can't see you and I don't know how to get you back. So if you're
can
pointing-
you, Susie, if you look down at the bottom of your screen, do you see a little blue rectangle with a white movie camera?
Let me see. Yeah, I've hit on it, but nothing. Well, wait a minute. A Bolt comes up. No, I'm Bolt from Zoom Assistant. I guess, how do I join a meeting? I can't, camera's not working.
We
No.
can see you though.
Can
You
you?
could actually, Susie, you
yes.
could log out and log back in and it'll come back if you want.
Okay, are we, yeah, okay, let me do that because I want to hear about this pricing because I
Okay.
have a board meeting. So let me log out, please, and then I'll get back in, okay?
Okay,
Sorry about that.
no problem.
So is Barry here? I have a quick question while we're waiting for Susie.
Sure.
If you're traveling, can you
Got
use
your back.
DAC to find? Oh, there you are. Can you actually use DAC to find other Rotary
Absolutely.
clubs? Yeah, because I went into
Yes.
search. Because I'm on my other computer. I went into search to look for it, and it just listed just the district clubs. Is there another way of doing that?
So, my assistant here is telling me that if you want to find clubs, you can do it when you download the mobile app. It'll give you
Oh,
the
I see.
clubs, the times they meet and so on. And you can also do it, your club runner has one too. It has an app that
Right. Yeah.
you can locate. But this
Okay.
one will do very similar. So what I would suggest is go to the mobile, download it onto your phone and play with it.
Okay. Thank you.
I find it looks very user friendly. And so if you would be so kind as to send me like the cost kind
Sure.
of breakdown for the club, so I can go with a little bit of knowledge, because this has come up. And I know because we do write a lot of grants, and obviously the grant people all have to go through DACB, through DACdb.
Yes,
We had our virtual meeting through DACdb. So, I mean, it seems like a logical step, but I'm meeting that cost. And then I think the other one was from the finance guy, because it obviously works through QuickBooks. Is that correct?
yes.
Yes.
It
And so-
integrates with QuickBooks,
QuickBooks,
yes.
and I think there was some hesitancy about that. But if you could send me, Mary, that would be great.
I'd be glad to. And if anybody else would like the pricing, I'd be glad to send it out as well. So,
It
Yes.
just sounds, it seems to me, it sounds like more of a tool that people, if they would use it, because I find with Club Runner, the only thing we use it for is they made a website, which apparently isn't that great. I like it, but, and people use it for the other one. Sorry, it just goes like that, the memory. But for club members, you know, we look up
Yes.
club members, and that's about
Yes.
it. But this looks like it is just has, it's like a little secretary within a secretary.
it's pretty amazing, and there's still a lot I don't know, but it's so easy to figure out.
Yeah, that's what just looked very user friendly. So I'll
Yeah,
talk to
yeah.
the club about it and see what they say.
Okay.
I got your back. Yeah, I don't know how, but. Is that
So
it?
the other-
Oh, sorry.
No, the other thing, that the mobile app that you can download on your phone, you can also download it on your computer
Mhm.
so that you can pull it up. And it's just a quick way, it's kind of a shortcut again, if you will, to look up things. But I am going to, Susie, does anybody else want pricing? Are you guys already there?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Questions, comments? Do you feel like you've had enough training? Do you want more? Marnie, what are we doing tomorrow night? Are we having a,
We do not have any role-specific training planned tomorrow night. I was waiting to see how many views there were on the recordings that we've done, and it's not a lot yet, but
Are all
maybe
you guys
that's
here?
it.
Sorry,